I tried to tell you guys. I really did try to tell you guys. I said if you simplify the equation to Team A versus Team B, if you play Real Madrid and don't play the occasion, you don't play the heritage, you don't play the remontada, we will win. And now I never envisaged in my wildest dreams that it would be 5-1. That was utter dominance, and no one will convince me otherwise. There were only two or three moments across two legs where I was even remotely worried by them. And those were almost all from our mistakes. There was a point where Bellingham won a duel on the touchline, played a through ball to Mbappe, and he tried to do he shaped up as if he was going to far post, but Raya didn't really move. So then he couldn't do his near post finish. That was a big miss. There was a time where he went for the ball in like the first 30 seconds, and Mbappe shot from like 35 yards. And then Saliba gifting them a goal. He just said, just take this one. You got it. That was the only time they worried me in any sense. Other than that, it was utter dominance, utter control. And I owe Arteta an apology in a sense because this is what he envisioned. And while it doesn't translate so well in the league and it leads to some boring games, I'm not going to take back what I said in terms of not enjoying watching us. Because in the league, sometimes it is way too stale. There are still facets we can improve 100%. But in Europe, it is affording us so much control and so much security that it is actually unbelievable. I think you can count on one hand how many goals we conceded in Europe this season. And that's nuts. Or maybe not one hand, but we conceded one this tie, two against PSV, one against Inter. Other than that, it's fleeting moments, and you can almost always pinpoint this happened. Obviously, that's football. You can't just complain that, everything was a mistake. Stop making mistakes then. But if you actually look at Arsenal's defensive structure, it's otherworldly. When Saka and Martinelli are working like dogs, tracking back, the way other attackers simply are not willing to. PSG for years were insulted because their wingers were not willing to track back. Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi are not going to track back the way Saka and Martinelli are. That's just the fact of it. And obviously, they afford you a certain level of quality that Saka and Martinelli don't. But there's got to be a trade-off. You have to work hard off the ball in modern football. That's the simple reality of it. And we have such a good blend at the moment of tenacity, physicality with IQ. There's a lot of IQ in this team. Miles Lewis-Skelly has showed a lot of IQ coming in at 18 and being arguably the best defender across the two legs. Jakub Kiwior deputized Gabriel in a way I didn't think was possible. He was so impressive yesterday. The first leg was a little bit shaky in the early phases, but once he settled in, it was great. And props to Arteta because I explicitly said I don't want MLS and Kiwior on the same side because they both have an element of vulnerability, but that didn't show at all. They were comfortable. Timber, he's phenomenal. I could do an episode on every single player. Raya, the way he commands his area, it gives you such confidence. When a cross comes in, I am not worried. I'm literally not worried because if the ball is there to get, Raya will come and claim it. It's that simple. Partey in midfield, his line splitting passes. I thought this guy was finished. I'll be so honest. I thought he was done out. I thought he didn't have the legs anymore. And he proved me wrong. This whole season, he's been our best midfielder this season. But the best midfielder across the two legs was Declan Rice. Declan Rice has been disrespected for a while. People have said, he's a £40 million player. Is he better than this person? Is he better than that person? He can't pass, etc., etc. And he just silenced everybody. This is a legacy tie for Declan Rice. Declan Rice versus Real Madrid will be remembered. Kante is the only other player to win man of the match home and away against Madrid. And that's a Hall of Famer. And Declan Rice is that caliber of player. He will go down as a Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as a football legend if the silverware permits, obviously, because, coming from West Ham, moving to Arsenal, you do have to win trophies to substantiate that kind of claim. And I believe he will. Whether we'll win the Champions League this year, I think we have as good a chance as anybody. I don't think it's ever been this balanced because you can make a convincing argument for Arsenal, Inter, PSG and Barcelona. You can convince anybody that any of those teams are going to win. And there's almost two styles here. Arsenal and Inter are the two best defensive teams. PSG and Barcelona are the two best attacking teams. Let's ball. It's going to be crazy. And I love that it's one facing the other. So PSG attacking team, Arsenal defensive team. Inter defensive team, Barcelona attacking team. I love that it's split like that. I couldn't tell you who's going through. Obviously, I back Arsenal to beat PSG. But Barca Inter, I'd actually take Inter in that tie. It sounds ridiculous considering Barcelona's attack, but I actually think tactically Inter are so sound. They are one of the teams that when we played them, I was like, damn, I don't know what to do with this team. They have a perfect blend of, again, the IQ, the physicality. Bastoni is a rock. The link-up play up top with Martinez and Thuram is gorgeous to watch. Then you have players like Fratesi. They've got a squad. They've got a serious team. They're a contender. They should not be disrespected. Yes, Bayern are perennial losers if we're keeping a spade a spade. Um, Bayern have this tendency to throw ties away because realistically they could have won. Kane hits the post in that first leg where he really should have scored. They lose by 1 goal and they concede the second goal in the first leg because they're chasing the game when they shouldn't have been chasing the game because they should have been in front. So take that with a pinch of salt, obviously. But Inter, I generally think Inter can beat anybody. But back to Arsenal, we need to talk about Martin Odegaard. My opinion on a player has never changed as quickly as it has with Martin Odegaard. This guy is one of our best players last season and one of my personal favorite players because he leads the press. He looks like he wants it. He looks hungry, but he has this habit of looking very busy whilst doing approximately nothing. Approximately nothing. Odegaard has scored. I'm pretty sure Odegaard almost touched 15 goals in Prem, if not did, in like 2022. And he suddenly regressed as a goal scorer, and nobody understands why. He just doesn't shoot anymore. He acts like he has 1 foot. He's so one-dimensional, always spams passes to Saka in a way that the defense is able to adjust and double up on Saka because they know where it's going. He doesn't pivot and use the other side, and I don't understand it. I don't know, maybe he needs to be moved to LCM and change his angles. I really don't know. But that RCM role, the link up with Saka works sometimes and it's glorious. Some of these flicks, sometimes they work, but you can't spam it every single time. If I know it's coming and you know it's coming, what's the point? You have to shoot. You have to be willing. And there was a shot he took at the end of the game, and it's like, why don't you do that more often? Why are we begging you to shoot? Why is it so difficult for you to, I don't know. In the first leg, he was actually our worst player, and I was so disappointed because the narrative was there. The golden boy, the former golden boy who was discarded from Madrid, they basically said you're not good enough. Obviously, they had Modric, Cruz, and Casemiro, so they didn't need him at the time. But they essentially said there is no place for you here. When you've got Dani Ceballos playing for Madrid, I assure you, if they wanted Odegaard, they would have found a place for him. But they didn't. And now he was our captain. This is our leader. And he was the worst player in the first leg. Second leg, you could argue the same, which is crazy. It's generally crazy. Merino, I said he was a nothing player, but he was phenomenal across both legs. The duels he wins, he's a duel monster, and we knew that already. But being a duel monster whilst being an actual capable striker that's genuinely creating space for the wingers is unbelievable. I'm pretty sure he got 3 GA in this tie. And the finish in the first leg was ridiculous. And the second leg, it was, I could go on and on. It was incredible. Incredible. The whole team performance was beyond anything I could have imagined. We just didn't see the nerves. We didn't seem shaken by the occasion. We seemed like we've been there before. And we really have not been there before. This is our first Champions League semi-final we're going into since 2009, where we lost to United before they got spanked by Prime Barcelona. So we really have not been here before. So for this squad to put in a performance of this caliber across 2 legs was unbelievable. And to wrap it up, it's great to be right. It is great to be right. Let's keep a spade a spade. It is great to be right. And it is a good time to be an Arsenal fan, all things considered. The league has been incredibly disappointing because we are better than Liverpool. We had the opportunities and we didn't capitalize. And the reasons are neither here nor there, whether it be injuries, referees, whatever you want to say. But Champions League, this is an opportunity, and these opportunities don't come every day. We could be better than this next season and not get this opportunity because it's just the way the cookie crumbles. So we need to capitalize.